So, what do you guys want to do? I don't know. Hmm. Let's step out of that tree. In life, you generally have friends, unless you suck and you don't have any, which, would be unfortunate. But, since I'm super cool, I have friends.
Like me, I am friend.
What? Who are you? The earliest friend group that I had, dude, get out of here, happened in first grade. It consisted of me and my two other friends, Jasper and Michael, I guess. I didn't put a lot of thought into those. And together, the three of us dubbed ourselves the Ultra Dragons. Once again, we were in first grade, and I was also not a part of the naming process. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Flashback to 2016, I think. I was a young lad, and I wanted to be friends with Michael. Once more, I did not put a lot of thought into those names. At that point, I didn't really understand the whole go up to someone and ask to be their friend thing. I just sort of had friends, handed to me. But as the super brave 6-year-old I was, one day I saw my chance, and I took it. Hey, you want to be friends? Yeah, sure. I had done it. I had conquered over the impossible. I had completed a basic human task. Friend acquiring complete. Michael obviously had other friends, but only one of those guys I actually grew closer to. And that young lad is Jasper. We never really spoke before, but we were both friends with Michael, so I guess we just sort of grew closer by association. One day during lunch, Jasper decided to call our group the Ultra Dragons, because being in a group with a name like that was the coolest thing a boy could do at the time. Me and Michael just kind of went along with it, thinking Jasper knew what he was doing. Which he might have, I don't know. Actually, Jasper had always kind of been the leader of the group. I guess me and Michael just never noticed it or something. Each day during recess, we would go under this tree next to the swings to do whatever. Those times weren't really that eventful, since there's only so much you can do under a tree. We would kind of just leave and come back randomly, but we also let no one under the tree. I remember that. That was our turf. No one could go there. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, what do dragons have to do with any of this? Besides being awesome. Well, a few days after the Ultra Dragons were founded, we raced to see who could get to our table the fastest. Michael was first, Jasper was second, and I was last. But since Jasper was the leader of the group, he said, "Okay guys, I know Michael got here first, but first is the worst, second is the best, and third is the one with the hairy chest. So Michael's dragon is first, mine is the best, and yours is the one with the hairy chest." When he said this, it broke me. I get that coming in first and still getting a crappy title was probably frustrating for Michael, but I genuinely thought that being called Hairy Chest was the worst thing that could happen to me. Ever. Eventually, I decided to take matters into my own hands. I would create the coolest dragon ever, so that I couldn't be called Hairy Chest, because that would be so cool. I described it as all gold with layered armor skin and a huge gold chain for some reason. I don't know. Jasper and Michael were digging it, so I guess I was doing something right. I thought to myself, this is my moment. I won't have to be Hairy Chest anymore. I'd look so cool that my name would probably be, you still have to be Hairy Chest though. At that point, I was kind of just disappointed in Jasper that he couldn't accept my awesome ways, but I also kind of got used to Hairy Chest, so I was just that from then on. This one time I was talking to Jasper, and eventually it devolved into an argument, but I don't know what it was about, probably something stupid like what flavor of Capri Sun was the best. At that point, I thought to myself, what would happen if I screamed my argument at the top of my lungs? I was a very intelligent child. So I did, but then I felt guilty and left for some reason. I don't know why, I could have just told him it was an intrusive thoughts or something, but I still ran away, feeling guilty, and I never talked to them again. For about 3 minutes until Michael came over. He told me to come back to the tree, me and Jasper talked it out, and then everything was just fine. Apparently he had kicked me out of the Ultra Dragons, but then Michael convinced him to let me back in. So thanks, Michael, yay! After a while, I realized that our group didn't really have anything besides a name. Now, did we need anything else? No, but I wanted something else, so we were gonna get something else. I was just getting into drawing comics at the time, so I created the logo, and then I made 3 limited edition Ultra Dragons comics. They're limited edition because there's only one of each. And I lost all of them. I still remember what the logo looked like, kind of, but I have no idea where the comics could be. They're 8 years old and were on one sheet of paper, so it's likely that they did not stand the test of time. As in, I probably threw them out. Either way, through all the ups and downs, those guys were my best friends. But I don't really talk to them anymore. I went to a different school outside of the district, and Michael still goes to the same school inside the district. And we're actually still friends, but I have no idea what or how Jasper is doing. He could be an astronaut. I don't know. Actually, I have a pretty good guess since he's still a teenager, since I'm still a teenager, so he's probably not an astronaut, but you never know. I personally think that it's very likely that he's subscribing to Ketchup Sandwich. Yeah, it's definitely what he's doing. And you should too. Please, subscribe to Ketchup Sandwich. This is so dumb. This is such a dumb bit. I hate this. That was the worst. Our friendship kind of hit a wrench due to this funny little sickness that a few people had that you probably never heard of. It's not important. The important thing is that we didn't see each other for a while. We talked on the phone a bit, but, not enough to keep a healthy friendship going. Or at least I didn't. Come to think of it, they could have just been talking when I wasn't. Which was most of the time, and it's honestly just as likely too. They could still be friends. They could still be running the Ultra Dragons, adding more and more people to the group. But also, I don't care. They can do whatever they want. They're teenagers. They're old enough to not need me anymore. They probably didn't need me to begin with. I kind of just tagged along for the ride, but now they definitely don't need me, so it's okay. As I said, friends are important, and even though I'm not as close to those guys as I was before, I have new friends now, and I'm making even more new memories with them.
Yeah, like me. We're best friends.
Dude, who are you? Get out of here! Hello. Fancy seeing you here on YouTube. This video kind of took a bit because I went on vacation, and then I got sick, and then I kind of just forgot to record the audio, but it's out now. Yay. School's winding down, gonna try to upload more, but also with my very persistent upload schedule, I can't guarantee anything. But also, what are you gonna do about it? Practice patience. I have to practice patience since I have to make these, so you also have to. It's only fair. So be a little more patient. Just for little old me. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Be sure to remember that Australia is wider than the moon, and now I'm gonna go to sleep.